The current spoiler warning level is butterscotch.
Friends and folks, for this episode, you're looking at a spoiler warning level of butterscotch. We're talking about a machine and its variants from Mobile Suit Gundam SEED. It is somewhat plot relevant. Honestly, butterscotch is a little generous. This is basically Azure, especially because it's SEED and no one cares. I mean, just doing my due diligence here. Please enjoy the episode. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another Mechanista in G, and this time we got a special guest for you folks. I'm Six Detmar.
I'm Dylan.
And we're joined by our friend from the Mecha Anime headquarters. Hello Chris, welcome back to the show.
Glad to be here, and great coincidence it happens to be the 26th anniversary of MHQ today.
Oh yeah.
We're recording this.
You started on April Fool's Day, huh?
Well, that was a mistake. We, in retrospect, decided, probably shouldn't have done that. But...
No.
I always forget it's Mecha. I'm just when I'm like MAHQ in my head. As long as I've used it, I'm like, that's just MAHQ. That's not an acronym, clearly.
We kind of dropped that. We pulled an AARP where it's like, it's always been Mecha and Anime headquarters. People always drop the and. So at one point we're just like, man,
I did mess that.
Forget it. So it's just MHQ. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Sure.
MAHQ stands for MAHQ.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or for all people out there who for years tell me that they thought it was mock, and I'm like, okay. I never saw that, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, no harm in it, I guess. As long as you're saying the brand.
Yeah, as long as you visit the website and, bookmark it, I don't care what you call it.
All right.
So we've got this big spreadsheet here with lots of mobile suits on it, because I think we're just going to be doing a proper Gundam episode. It's the most reliable way. And if we roll something that I don't think's fun enough, we're just going to roll again, because I don't want to, listen, I don't want to give Chris a one and done. That seems like a waste.
Yeah, we rolled a Galaxin from Victory. We'll probably re-roll.
Okay, well... No, I'm re-rolling. We re-rolled a sheet with not very much on it, and I don't think any of the options on it were interesting, so we're just gonna... Okay, we can do that.
Okay.
I've got to make sure I'm rolling the right color die, because I have multiple, but there's the Mechanista set,
Oh, okay.
Oh, sure, okay.
The Mechanista ones are special.
I mean, depends on your how you think of it. They're just different. I mean, they are like rainbow colored and transparent. They're cool, but
Okay, fair enough.
Oh wait, we already did this one. Shit, I pulled it up and I'm like, I'm sure we've talked about this. Well, okay.
What was it, out of curiosity?
It was the Bale.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? If this is, okay.
All right. Well, let's see what it is.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be able to guess this super fast, but maybe y'all can. Y'all are
We'll
good
see.
at this.
I'm eager to test my visual ID skills, because you throw me most model numbers and I have way too much knowledge about that. But a random part, we'll see.
Okay, well, here's your first clue.
What?
Is that Raider?
This is the Raider Gundam.
Oh.
I know those Okawara feet and
Okay.
thrusters.
You actually got that. I'm going to fully admit, I wouldn't have gotten that.
Can you tell I've spent way too much time working on MHQ line art over the last, 26 years?
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, I saw that, I was like, those colors are weird. What has red thrusters on the legs? I couldn't, piece that. Alright, it's the chicken.
The sicko chicken.
Yeah. Oh, this will be a fun one. All right.
Get some nice close-ups here for some various parts.
So we've got the GAT-X370 Raider Gundam. So yeah, this is a mobile suit used by the biological CPU Clother Boer. Is Boer what they go with now? I thought it was a different last name. I guess it is. All right.
Well, they did also retcon...
I was saying Boer.
They did also retcon the name extended to the initial sickos. Afterwards in Destiny.
Okay, right.
So I mean, whatever. I would use either.
Wait, is Boosted Man not in canon anymore? I love Boosted Man. It's so funny to me.
Boosted Man. I don't know. Oh, I guess. Okay, yeah. They all.
Clotho's a Boosted Man. Okay, cool.
All their last names are derived from the demons in Ars Gotia. Okay, all right. You know, I guess it is Boer then. Anyway, yeah. So the Raider is used by them. I would say if you asked me, I don't want to contradict myself because I used to not like the Calamity or the Raider. I only liked the Forbidden. Sometimes though, I look at the Raider and I think this is my least favorite of the bunch. But I will get on with describing it, I guess. So, starting with the head, we've got a Mohawk camera on the top. The Mohawk is a little extended forward. You've got like a little red...
A little extended?
God damn it. You've got a little red hood around the camera. You don't really have much of a forehead jewel. Like, it has the shape of a forehead jewel going on there, but it's just more like a, block of black armor, same color as its body, that is jutting forward. It's got a double V-fin sticking out of him. It's basically a normal V-fin, and then the normal V-fin has one little extra mark on the, little extra point coming out of, near the bottom of it, very small. For the sides of the head, you've got little cheek Vulcans. They might be cheek Vulcans, they might be vents, whatever. You have a little red part on the side of the head, and then you've got a vent opening on the top and bottom of the face. It's kind of triangular. It's a weird shape for the cheek vents on a Gundam. And finally, the face looks like it got punched in the face really hard. It is, the face has a little beam gun, or cannon, given how the size of it, built into it. As sort of just in the middle of the mouth. Then you've got... The
fact that they don't color it differently makes it look so bad.
Yeah. And then you've got a little black chin piece, you've got the red lining around the eyes, and then you've got green eyes. Yeah, I hate this mouth.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
That's... it's funny, because the other thing it reminds me of is, reminds me of Leopardon a little bit. From Spider-Man, Toei Spider-Man.
Yeah, I see it.
But funnily, worse looking, because again, Six brought up, the shared colors there just doesn't... I don't know, just it being all the same color as the armor there, but with the little gun barrel, it just looks bad.
Well, and Leopardon's trying to do a spider mouth thing. It's supposed to be slightly upsetting. This is just someone misunderstood the directions on where to put the cannon.
Yeah, it's
they're like, mouth? Okay, if you say so. And I was like, no, not okay. All right, we can work with this.
And then the torso is actually very strike-like. There's a pad of armor in the top middle of it, an extra plate on there. Then for the pectorals and midsection, they actually don't have super divided sections there. The pectorals have little vents, though. The vents are a big black vent with a yellow divider in the middle of it. The middle section near... I guess these aren't the cockpit hatch, because if it's SEED, that's probably the cockpit hatch up there, now that I think about it. But it does have the little red sections below on the midsection in the middle, and then you've got the square bellowed out multiple waist piece or multiple chest parts going into the little waist area.
Well, the Alliance cockpit hatch probably should be in the torso because it's the Zaft Gundams that do, I think, the top hatch, like Freedom and Justice.
Oh, right. Okay. You know, I never actually, until you mentioned that, I never would have thought about that, like, being a thing that differentiates them, like, in terms of their mobile suits, but I think you're right, yeah, that, like, the Dagger and all that also have, like, chest-related cockpits as opposed to the, like lower chest cockpits instead of the upper chest hatches.
Yeah. But then I can't recall any scenes where any of the sickos are shown getting into or out of their cockpits. They're, in my memory, always either already in the Gundams or just being sickos outside of the Gundams on their little ship that they're on.
Playing Gradius.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to say with the Forbidden, I've got the screenshot of the cockpit of the Forbidden, and this just looks like it's one of those chairs that slides forward, but that's all I'm basing that on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which makes me think it's a front hatch, but I have very little evidence to go by.
I would just expect the Alliance suits to all maintain that style, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was taking a look, and it's seemingly not even described in line art, which is funny.
Yeah, I don't have any, so, you know.
Yeah, no, I was like, there's none on MAHQ, there's none here. Yeah, no, they never actually drew, like, the sete for that. Well...
Can we find does the full mechanics have the cockpit able to be opened? Can we find, like,
you know
a
what? Let me
or
take a
something?
look. The full mechanics would be something I want to bring up anyway, because I hate it in that the full mechanics, I actually kind of like how it looks, in spite of hating this design normally. But, yeah, I'll pull that up real quick. Let's see. Does it have an opening cockpit on it? Raider. It looks like it doesn't. Dang. Well,
okay.
No biggie. Anyway, the other thing of note though is it has like it almost looks like the exposed frame, but it connects into the backpack. But you've got these like little red bits that are hanging from the backpack over the upper body of the chest there. It's funny because again I recognize that that's just hooked into the backpack. But having, like, the parts like that just makes it feel more like the Strike to me. But, yeah. Moving on to the shoulders. The shoulders are very long. You've got a little bit of red armor on the front of them. And then they go out very far. They have this, like, little triple thruster at the end of it. That is, like, just 3 little circles bolted into there. Then the arms are extremely plain. You've just got black bicep part, square armor. You've got a little wedge joint for the joint there, kind of your standard double joint. And then finally...
I want to note...
Oh, yeah.
Those 3 thrusters at the end of the shoulder, when it transforms into the flight mode, they move backwards and become, like, rear-facing thrusters.
Oh, okay. That actually...
Because the shoulders fold... like downward if you look at the flight mode.
Yeah, I can kind of see it there. And then it reveals that the top of the arm, I think, or like part of the shoulder also has these cannons built into them.
Yeah.
That are able to telescope forward from there.
And then I have them as machine guns, 76 millimeter machine guns.
Okay. And then for the forearms, though, you've got a hard point on, like, the outer wrist area that is, like, just 2 bars. You can see it on the left arm. On the right arm, it's obscured by the big arm cannon. And then the hands are hands. Yeah, nothing really special there. For the waist, you've got a crotch piece that has a thruster on top of the midsection there, instead of like having like the little embedded like red part that sometimes has the Federation V on there. And then for the front skirts, it's just 2 big blocky skirts that have a thruster on the bottom of them and like a vent on the top. Or I guess it might be accurate to even have those be intakes given, you know, the flight mode. The side skirts are like giant subarms that secretly have the bird claws. They are folded in such a way in the mobile suit mode generally where they're just kind of like tucked in and behind the back area. And you can see, large claw on top and bottom, and then in between the claws, some kind of weapon. I believe it's a beam weapon, but I can't remember for sure. These are... No, actually. These might not be a beam cannon. I don't know.
Are these the Ahura Mazda short-range energy cannons?
Oh, okay, yeah. Short-range plasma cannons. As the wiki put it here. Not that the terminology matters much in SEED. Yeah, so they are... They're in the middle of these claws here. And then the rear skirt, I believe it's just a singular plate, and it's got like a little extension in the middle. Yeah, going off the model kit. So we can see it a little better than the art here. You can see, it's just the wedge and 2 rear skirt pieces. Pretty simple. Speaking of simple, as we go down to the thighs, you've got the rounded thighs that have some panel lining on them. Very kind of standard Okawara design for the 90s as well as for SEED. Pretty standard double joint, like giant wedge for the joint there. I guess that's the thing that's weird is there's no knee armor, so the joint is just gigantic feeling because it's just all there. And then the lower legs, the part that I didn't get to guess because I never would have gotten it, is you've got like a little intake on the front right below the knee area. You've got a big thruster pod on the little side here with like a little presumed slightly gimbal thruster. The thrusters are gray at the base with a big red like cone around them. Has a smaller set of these thrusters on the very back of the leg. Like it's got a bit of an opening on the bottom of the armor and the thruster. No ankle armor, just big gray parts for the front of the foot as well as the back. And then you've got, like, the black armor for the, front toe piece. And then for the heel, it has a bit of a high heel going on. But, yeah. The legs are kind of... It's so funny because, again, when I see, like, the thighs and stuff especially, I'm just like, yep, that's an Okawara leg for sure. This era.
That's how I guessed it because it's like, an Okawara leg the second you see it.
Yeah. And I guess finally the backpack unit, you've got this large hood that extends upward, right behind the head. It just kind of ends in a blunted point with, it almost just looks like a jet. Obviously, this is a transformable mobile suit, so, you've got this basically a big jet on the back. It has a single stabilizer fin with a gigantic thruster on the bottom of it. And then attached to either side of it, 2 movable wings. The wings are mostly in black with red at the edge going down, and then a little bit of yellow at the end. And yeah, that's the Raider. To describe its transformation, Chris brought up the arms just kind of tuck backwards. The shoulders fold down, so then the thrusters there are facing down. And then you have these little cannons, these auto cannons that telescope forward. Then you've got the side skirts fold down and become new, like, the bird legs, is the idea. And the legs do the thing that legs always do on really easily transformed mobile suits, which is they pop, like, you make the upper joint rotate 90 degrees back, and then this lower part of the joint that the lower leg is on rotates 90 degrees the other way, and so you've just got these disjointed legs. The feet are just pointing back. It's very obviously 2 legs there. I feel like having these legs bent like that while you have this giant thruster facing them is a bad idea, personally, but whatever.
Yeah.
Not my
favorite.
There's
any space there for, like, clearance.
Not my favorite transformation, no.
I mean, these machines really exist to make you more kind to the ones when they appear in Destiny. Because if you just got Gaia, Abyss, and Chaos in Destiny, you'd be like, these ones they're okay, but they're kind of dumb. But then you're like, man, remember how bad they were last season?
Yeah.
The thing about these that really sticks out to me is that maybe I mentioned this before on past appearances. At the time when we got the first 5 Gundams from Seed, even though they were cleaned up by Okawara, they really stuck out with all those elements from the original design by Junichi Akutsu, and it felt like something fresh and new. Like, I really thought, when dating myself here 24 years ago, like, man, this strike really looks like an RX-78 for the 21st century. But then once we got the Sickos and Freedom and Justice that are all wholly Okawara designed, it's like, oh, we're just walking back to the 90s with these, huh? Like, you could dump this in Wing or X and it would not look out of place. Like, you throw this next to like Ashtaron and it could be like a sister unit to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing you'd think with X is you're like, oh, there's a surprising amount of shit on this.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I liked these designs more. But there is a version of this design that I like. I will get to that though after we cover the weapons real quick. So, we brought up the Ahura Mazda short-range plasma cannons, which are in the middle of the claws. These can also generate beam sabers. I don't remember if it does that in the show. No, it mentions it in the full mechanics manual is where that comes from, but I don't think it actually does that in the show ever. So, and then we've got the dual 52mm hyper velocity shield cannon, which grab the art from MAHQ real quick. Is just I mean, you can see it on the art there, but large 2-barrel gun that is on the arm. It's a 52mm cannon with a high rate of fire. It is a solid gun, so they can either be fired in semi-auto or full auto mode. You can see the little clips for them on the outside there. Actually,
I do like that.
Are they? Hold on. Are they solid or are they beam now? I can't remember.
I mean, don't judge by how they're drawn in the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the show they're yellow, and I'm like, well, yellow is sometimes solid, but also they always make them as big beams. So,
but also the number of animations errors in these fucking shows, it's not really reliable.
Yeah. It does have in between the barrels. You can kind of see it on the version there too. That little wedge in between the barrels is a little flip out grip for the gun. Then we've got the shoulder autocannons, which were mentioned. It's got a 80mm autocannon in the nose cone of the flight unit back there. The flight unit just can pop up, and it's got like a little gun in there. Well, I say little. It looks like it actually telescopes a fair bit there. Yeah. Thank you for the picture.
I mean, 80mm,
Yeah, it's bigger than the.
That's big.
It's bigger than its shoulder ones, so. Then it has the Zorn 100mm energy cannon in the mouth. And then, finally, the thing I always forget about, in spite of the fact that I shouldn't, is this has the Mjolnir Spherical Breaker, which is it's got a Gundam hammer. It's a Gundam hammer. It's got a handle. It's got an extendable chain. It is a macromolecular polymer wire. Wait, macromolecular?
Big molecules.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. So, like, usually you have, like, monomolecular, right? Which is, like, when it's the 1 atom thick or, close to 1 atom, actually. I think 1 atom would be too brittle, but, like monofilament kind of thing. Macromolecular is not a word. I don't think I've ever seen that. A molecule of high relative molecular mass. Okay, this is a scientific term. This is egg on my face, for making fun of it. So it is.
No, you can still make fun of it. It's a dumb term.
Yeah, well, it is a dense wire. It is a dense wire is the implication, I think, when they go with that. It does have a thruster on the back of it, which I believe this is that part, maybe? I don't know.
It seems like it.
And yeah, it is it mentions here that because the mace is not anti-beam coated, it could be cut in half by a beam saber. So.
But there is anti-beam coating on the wire.
Which...
So you can't cut it off, you can just cut the thing in half, which actually seems easier. If you're cutting the wire, it's already missed you.
Yeah. I guess you would still have to worry about the mass of, like, you cut this in half and if it's, like, flying at you, it's just gonna bash into you. But
True.
But then again, at this point, I feel like the Alliance could have shelled out for a little more money on that. Personally.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I guess that's all the equipment. I guess that's all the equipment. It actually has a lot of equipment on this like one design. So to show the full mechanics version of the design. So the full mechanics takes a lot of liberties with this design in terms of detailing and changing it.
Oh wow. That's a almost entirely different suit almost.
Yeah. So the head is still the same. I do think the more narrowed eyes and face help with the beam cannon. The mouth is more crunched like vertically, whereas this one is kind of tall vertically. The torso...
It's also differentiated in color, so you can actually, like, separate it from the rest of the face.
Yeah. And actually, just to get a close-up of it there. Take this picture. Our good friend Schizophonic. And yeah, also little head details added. The little vents on the side of the head, instead of just being, big openings, now you have visible, like, little vents on the inside there. More panel lining going on with the head. Overall, I mean, that's the thing with a lot of these full mechanics, which I would not be surprised if these were Junichi Akutsu, given the detail on them and given how often he works on various model kit related things. But, like,
definitely has his look.
It has his look, for sure. The torso, we've got, again, just like a lot of added little detail. You can see, don't want to replace that. Nope. There we are. You can see, like, the inside of the vents there, again, actually detailed instead of just being black voids. The torso part there on the, for the little, like, sections, a little taller and more organic looking. You get these added little, not a ton of added detail, but you do get, like, these little dots on there, and you get this, added panel lining to this plate on top. Again, just kind of filling out a lot of the detail. The shoulders are a pretty major one. They're quite a bit taller.
They look good instead of bad, I think, is a key detail.
Yes, they, the armor, the shoulders are a lot larger. They're not so thin and just splayed, like, outward. You've got, a lot more substantial armor at the base of them. It's still got it still ends in the thruster, but you've got a lot of extra panel lining going on with the middle of it. Still have these openings on the top, and they now have more detail in them. And these red plates, again, same thing, lots of extra added detail there. The arms are mostly the same, because there's not really too much you can do with them, though, again, just fancier details in terms of panel lining, like on the forearms there, or, like, the little hardpoint rails. They're not just solid gray blocks. They have some design to them. For the waist, adding details on the skirts where it can, just these, like, little cut-ins, or the fact that the thrusters are kind of, like, sectioned off. It's got these, like, little square sections for them instead of just them being built into the bottom of the armor. The claws are a lot more massive. Let me get a picture of the claws, like, when out. I guess they're not a lot more massive, but they feel... They're more substantial feeling. Probably because they actually have, like, more... these have the parts that imply that they bend, but these don't look like these can bend, because you look at this armor, and if it tried bending there, that would, clip into itself. Whereas here, you can see, like, firm separation, and they're a lot more stylized to have, like, a claw-like, shape to them, whereas on the original, they're very boxy and very, like, You know, you can see them splayed out here in the mobile suit mode and aimed forward. A lot of extra detail on the sub arms.
Well, those look fearsome.
The guns are they actually are sticking out quite a bit. And yeah, I think that the shape of these claws implies claws a lot better than these do. Which again, this is a design made like nearly 20 years later, but it is also just good instead of bad, as Six said. So,
I mean, it's not like we invented pencils 20 years ago, you know, like.
Mm-hmm. Oh, whoops! Did I paste that yet? What I meant to do. Oh yeah.
As always during this era, I'm not really trying to shame Okawara. The guy was just burnt out as hell and being asked to do so damn much. But this is not great work from him.
Well, not only that, but then like we know how the show, you know, without having all the exact episode per episode details, we know that they're getting the scripts last minute. And we know that, like, the show is clearly, like, running in, like, you know, by the seat of their pants. If he was just asked, hey, we need you to make 3 Sicko Gundams this week, or for, like, next week's episode, I mean, you know, he did his best. I try not to even focus on blaming him so much as the production of the show seems like it was hell. So
it is what it is, and, you know, I feel like, in general, I'm not a fan of Okawara's transforming mobile suits of the 90s and aughts, and I won't say that they're lazy, because I understand he's trying to accommodate both animation and being toyetic for kits by having simple transformations, but I will say uninspired. With the whole things of like, here's a little cone to be like the nose, and we're going to fold in the legs, and then we're going to spread out these wings and call it a day.
You know what they all are to me is every time I see these, I'm just like, oh, these are all writings. They're all doing a writing thing. They are folding the legs up in the same way that you have some kind of cone going around the head, whether it's from a backpack or just built onto the head. And every time I see it, I'm just like, yeah, I've seen this transformation a billion times. And it's not a very inspired one, TBH.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say the Raider, as, you know, uninspired as I would say it is far from his worst transforming design of this era, which I think is the BABI from Destiny.
Yeah, I think
that is just so bad.
Have we covered the BABI yet, Six? I can't remember. I know me and you have talked about it, but I'm like, wait.
I think so.
That's like a no-effort transformation when you look at it. It's like, come on, man. I know you had a workload, but Jesus Christ.
It looks like we haven't actually covered the BABI, but we have talked about it, I'm pretty sure, before, because, yeah, it always comes up when you talk about the lazy transformations, especially because it's based on the Hambrabi, which itself is a pretty interesting one. Like, it's a little simple, but I like it, even if Nagano is like, I think the Cubile and Hambrabi are some of my worst designs. I think he is, you know, I get it, he made them in a rush, but I think they're great. But yeah, no, the BABI.
I mean, we can just knock him out real quick here.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Any other comments? Finish up Raider.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
We'll
sorry.
do Raider variants, but first we'll do Raider, BABI, Raider variants.
Okay. So for the knees, rather than just having it be the bare joint, they did add a fairly substantial bit of armor to the knees, so they actually look like knees. Whereas, you know, on the original design, it is just the big joint in there. Which I think does a lot for the look of it. The lower legs, a lot of extra panel line detail added. You have these little vents also added. The thrusters have more detail overall with them. And then for the feet, you know, you've just got some added little cuts on the side of it. Not too substantially different, but yeah. And then the back of it, real quick, let me get the rear image. The wings have been made pretty substantially, well, okay, I don't want to say substantially larger, but they are larger for sure. You know, this is kind of like what happens with, like, say, the Epion when Kotoki draws it and whatnot. The wings are a little shorter on the original design. They are much larger here. They end in points rather than these little flat ends.
I gotta say, these wings on the full mechanics version, they kind of explicitly remind me of Master Gundam.
Yes.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I was even
Which
thinking that with the
I
colors.
don't see in the OG Okawara version, but I definitely see it in the full mechanics.
I think it's because of the angles, because
The
obviously
angles
like
and
the
the pointed
colors and
ends.
basic. Yeah. Another note is that the central fin is much smaller on the full mechanics.
Yeah. The large thruster, though, has the added detail there as well. And like I said, it's funny because I like all the full mechanics versions of all these designs more than I like their show art. You know, I felt this way for the Calamity. I already like the Forbidden, admittedly, but I do like the Forbidden full mechanics a lot. And then, of course, we have this guy, and, you know, I think this design is cool. You know, the, real quick, just to show some other little things on it, we have a lot of extra detail added to the fake Gundam hammer here now. Mostly just around the spikes. You've got these, like, it almost feels like they would spin, you know? Like, they would be, like, drilling when you're deploying this, just given the way that the little design around them feels to me. And then, finally, let me get a picture of the alt mode. Now, the alt mode, I mean, it's got to do what the Raider does, so it's still not, like, the greatest, but I do think, in terms of appearance, it's still, you know, trying its best. Still runs into some of the issues the other one has, where you just got this giant thruster blasting into the legs. But there's not a lot of easy ways to change that when you're keeping, without just completely overhauling the design. But, you know, it's what it is, and it's still the Raider. But I like this version of the Raider a lot more than the original. And of course, most important feature is that, much like in the show, you can have the Calamity ride on the back of it. Since that is kind of what the Raider mostly gets used at, is a flying platform for the others.
I mean, it's not a good enough design to do anything else with it.
Yeah. Alright. You want to talk about the BABI real quick? Or a little sidetrack into it, because it's not like it would support its own episode, so...
Sure. Let's get BABI with it.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess you liked that.
No, I didn't, actually.
Oh, I guess I misunderstood. Wow.
Yeah, you did.
People cannot understand each other.
Yeah. Yeah, so the BABI is funnily not related to the Raider, even though, honestly, looking at it, I feel like it should be, in a way. It feels like it would be like, hey, this is the idea of a mass production Raider. I guess this is made by ZAF, though, not the Federation, so it's...
It is, so if anything, it might, in-universe wise, be more connected to the Din.
Yeah. So, to describe the design for the head, very tall head, doesn't quite have the Zaft, like, head crest thing going on, if only because the head is so tall it doesn't have room to do that.
It's like, yeah, it's like going, like, Zaft by way of, like, that Victory Gundam sniping machine that I can't remember the name of.
Why am I
saying
the cone head? Yes, I think so.
Yeah, the Zanuck, yeah. Then we've got, it has like a big yellow, fin at the end of the head here. You've got several, like, I would still believe these are mono-eye ports, like, for the mono-eye to move around on, both on the back of the head and then on the forehead area. Does have a mono-eye. Mono-eye, it's normally housed in this, like, sort of, Y-shaped, opening on the face. Does have some extra cheek armor. No real added detail otherwise, just this cheek armor, which has, like, some panel lines. No vents or anything here. For the torso, we've got big blocky upper body. Still has your 3 distinct sections of a midsection and 2 pectorals. Pectorals are very rounded, going towards the back with a little built-in vent. The vents kind of face more like the sides, is kind of how these feel. Like, rather than blasting forward like a lot of mobile suits, they're going sideways, is what it looks like to me. They have this little red divider inside of them. And then the midsection, you've got this boxy purple area that has a beam cannon surrounded by a yellow Got like a yellow housing for it, and then red around it, and then the barrel is in gray. And then for the lower chest parts, you've got a little red part in the middle of the chest. Very thin, like, double chest thing going on here, where you've got, like, the upper part in purple, and then you get, like, a little bit of this gray, like, area right before the waist. Kind of a squat chest design here, though. The shoulders are rounded pauldrons. They've got some yellow edging around them, but pretty simple, with the bicep having a little outer thruster on the upper area. And then standard joints. The arms, not really any detail. You've got these like little hexagonal embossed plates on the outside of them. And then it's got a little bit of elbow armor there, but not too much. The wrists, the arm is mostly rounded, but the wrists are more squared, rounded, like, square areas around them, and then the hands are hands. For the waist, the crotch piece, you've got a yellow thruster or, like, intake part on the top there, with some red vents on the inside of it. Another thruster part on the bottom that is, like, gray with red on the inside. The most nondescript skirts I've ever seen on a Gundam, where they're just a semicircle with no added detail or anything on them. Boxy side skirts where they have a bit of a hang on the bottom that is a little longer at the back than it is the front, and then a big boxy thruster. No rear skirts whatsoever, just a rear thruster sticking out of the back.
Rear skirt would definitely inhibit its awful transformation.
Yeah. The thighs are very plain. Just has a panel line running around the radius of them, nearer to the bottom. Kind of a standard double joint thing going on. You've got large wings hiding inside of the knees here. These will be used for later. It's like a big red wedge with a little bit of yellow at the tip of them. The sides of the calves, the inner and outer side, have these large, very jet-looking openings. They even have, like, the little rounded, conical point at the front of them. And then on the back of the leg, you've got thrusters on the back of those, a big square thruster in the very back middle of the leg. The legs kind of do this interesting thing where the area for the feet kind of juts forward a little bit. You have... It looks like it's a separate piece, this, like, weird ankle armor that is, like, in between the foot and the leg. Because you can see when you see it from the back, it looks like it's, like, attached more into the foot or something. Like, it is free-floating there, is kind of the weird thing with that. And then, for the feet, black armor for the toe with a, like, little bit of purple on top, gray in the middle, and then a big squared-off heel. Finally, the backpack is just a giant, flat, like, almost looks like a plane on its own. You've got some weapons located on the front side of it in pairs of 2. They seem to be some kind of 5-barrel weapon. Or, no, 4-barrel, and then, like, a little rotary part in the middle. And then the wings are normally in the mobile suit folded, and the wings have, at the base of them, these large missile pods, and then, they're wings. The little ends of them kind of tip downward. Like, it's just got these, like, little downward angles at the end of them when they're deployed. And yeah, the transformation. This is an easy one to describe. The arms rotate 90 degrees forward, the head is pointing forward, and the legs just flip up behind the backpack. That's all they do. And then the knees, it pops these, like, I guess, okay, to describe it a bit better, the legs...
The wings do unfold.
It's just... I hate the way that this thing looks.
I just hate this thing entirely from head to toe.
I'm gonna be honest.
Awful.
The more I'm staring at this, the more I have a sick appreciation for it. It's like if Okawara decided to, like, how do you write? You can write words, but how do you draw the words, "Let me go home"?
I am being held against my will. Please help.
You can see the way that they're folded here. Like, just there it
This
is.
is the worst.
To describe its weapons, we've got built in on the suit, we've got 12-barrel missile launchers on the wings here. It mentions they are mainly used in MS mode. I guess they're always facing up they're always used in MA mode. I guess in MS mode they're facing up and they're not doing vertical launch things. So, you've got four barrel machine guns. I have to make sure I say that right. That are 22.5 millimeter machine guns. You can see them. Those are the, these parts here. And then it's got a beam rifle, which is just a pretty simple design. Give me 1 second. You can see them being held in the MA mode, but because I knew MHQ would have this. Here we are. We've got the art for the gun. And I mean, it's a beam rifle.
Standard Okawara rifle.
Yeah. It's got it's got the camera on top. You've got a little grip on the back. I guess, that's the main thing is, a lot of the bulk of this gun is actually kind of backloaded, funnily enough. It's got the beam rifle, and then I would presume, personally, that that's a grenade launcher on the bottom of it, but it doesn't mention it, but it feels like it would be, given the...
Seems like it would be, yeah.
And then you've got the air gun launcher, which is a really funny name, which is the big bazooka-looking gun on the left arm there. It's got a top-loaded magazine. I do like how boxy this is, actually. I just wish it kind of dual-wielded these, because it's cooler looking than the beam rifle. Wouldn't fix the design, but, little things.
The only thing that would fix this design is if it never existed to begin with. I don't think there's any saving this, not by any designer. I look at this thing, and for over 20 years, my overwhelming thought has been, what is the point of the flight mode? How does it help with anything?
It adds machine guns.
It's
don't get
all
me wrong.
down to how you use it.
And don't get me wrong, Epion does the same thing of folding the legs over the body, but at least it looks like a fucking dragon and has a tail, so that's kind of cool. This does not look cool. This has no vibes. This has negative vibes.
Well, then the other funny thing is the big weapon on this would be the multi-phase beam cannon mounted in the chest. And I guess the thing that it posits here is that, well, in MA mode, it's facing downward, but that's so it can attack facilities from above with that. But which I guess goes to show anti-infantry and anti-base mobile suits are always, compromised by being boring. But yeah, no, I don't think this design's all that great.
I do agree that it's bad, but I think there was SEED does not have a sense of humor about itself, but I think there is room for this to be an in-universe bad design.
Yeah.
For it to be this, it was supposed to be a hover unit, sort of doesn't need to transform to fly, and then military contractor bullshit, and they're it needs a flight mode, and they're fine, the legs fold, are you happy?
Here's the worst part. Here is Okawara's
That's
concept art.
Cool.
If you look at the bottom, it is even called BABI there.
It's not a SEED design, but that's cool.
I mean, a lot of Okawara... This is the other problem, this is another reason why I can sometimes not blame Okawara. I see these concept designs that he has for SEED, and I'm like, man, if only they went with that.
Yeah, a lot of his early SEED stuff is so crazy compared to what we actually got.
I mean, the thing is, we know that they are having a hard time even animating the show as is also. I'm wondering if Sunrise was not taking the transition to Digipaint. Well, I say that, but then again, I feel bad always bringing this up because people have gotten mad at me in the past for comparing these two. But Overman King Gainer is a fucking gorgeous show.
It sure is. It looks a lot better than SEED, and it started literally at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And was made at the exact same time.
And that's the problem. So it's okay, well, that digital animation pipeline is clearly working. But yeah,
maybe
so...
Tamino got the cream of the crop in picking his staff.
Yeah.
And Fukuda was, left with the leftovers.
Yeah. The prototype design, just to describe it for our audio listeners, is the head is kind of doing a thing that he does. Okawara does this on a lot of his early Zaf designs in general, and it's kind of funny seeing a Destiny design with this. But it has almost like a spider-like head where the way the bottom of the mouth area is, it almost looks like a chelicera on a spider, which I love the look of as the bug-liker. The head is not like a tall vertical head. It just has an opening on the front and then openings on the side. The chest is a lot more rounded for the armor. It kind of has a similar overall shape, but then instead of the gun in the middle, it's got a bunch of like machine guns or other kind of gun built into the torso. You also have these large thrusters on the undersides of the sides of the chest. The shoulder, you get a much different design. It's still overall a simpler shoulder, but it has these large thrusters on there. The left wrist has like a little machine gun attached to it. The side skirts are much longer. Again, same kind of shape, I guess, overall looking at it, but it's just they're a lot longer and they look better.
It has like G-Savior colors.
These colors are okay, so these colors I think are Okawara's test colors for showing thrusters and vent openings. And I don't actually know what the blue stands for, but here's the thing. He does this orange, gray, and blue on a lot of his early design drafts for in the aughts, like for G-Savior, for this. I don't think these are meant to be the final colors, even though, in my opinion, these colors rule.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you've got, like, little thrusters on the legs, little, like, vents there, and then outer thrusters. The feet have these little, like, horns on them. And while we can't see a back view of it, we've got a much different wing pack that is folded up over the shoulders. Feels a lot more funnily like a Dragonar design, which, given Fukuda and his history with that show, and also with, seemingly wanting Okawara to make more stuff like that show, given the way the anti-beam swords are designed and whatnot, and the flight packs.
And we know that Fukuda was a fan of Dragonar, given what we saw in Freedom later.
Well, I believe he worked on it.
He did work on it.
Yeah. Which, it's always weird because my brain wants to think of him as a newbie, but it's like, no, he was there.
Yeah, he's old. Yep.
But yeah, these wings feel a lot more like a Dragonar, though. They also, I kind of like that these thrusters at the end of the wings look like they would rotate, like be able to, like, thrust in multiple different directions. Just a better looking design. And unfortunately, what we got is one of the worst instead.
Can't win them all.
Yep. And yeah, that's the BABI. It doesn't really have any alternate colors, doesn't have any variants. Thank God. God, Sea Freedom should have had a BABI variant, actually. I don't know who would have made it, but then again, I don't know. Wait. Hold on.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm like, wait a minute. The Gelb Menace and all that were made by... Yeah, so they could have done a BABI follow-up. I'm like, wait, yeah, the Gelgug's not a Zaf suit. I mean, it is, but it's not...
It is, but it's also not tying back to a UC suit, so...
Yeah.
That's obviously the more important thing with, doing the Gelb Menace and the Gyan Strum.
Yeah. Alright, well, anyway, that's the BABI. Fuck the BABI. We got to add on some extra time by complaining about it, though, so that's fun. And then, yeah, we have two variants for the Raider that we will talk about.
Three.
Oh, three?
We have Raider Full Spec, Gelb Raider, and Boost Raider.
Boost.
Oh, I forgot about the Gelb Raider.
So I figure Full Spec is first, because it's the least changed.
It's a blue Raider! They made it blue!
I mean, there actually are quite a few changes, like, the more you look at it closely.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, there's stuff to talk about. It's just, it doesn't... Yeah. The other ones bolt a bunch of shit on them.
Sure.
Yeah, so... So for the Raider here, one loses the, mouth cannon. Trying to see what other...
I'm upset realizing I kind of like this.
I mean, I actually do like this one compared to the OG. Like, first of all, it's light blue, so it's more friend-colored than sicko-colored.
That is really funny because the Gelb Raider there, like what the little thing it's holding onto, the like extra jet, that also looks like the back of the BABI down there, the subwing. Even though again,
it does.
It is not because this is an Earth Alliance suit. But it is funny that is just like nearly the back of the BABI, like with the way the middle of that is designed and stuff. Yeah. So again, the main change is just on the head and the colors. I feel like. But I think
if you look at the feet, they're missing those thrusters that are on the OG Raider.
Yeah, the legs are missing the thrusters on the side, and then the back has the thrusters removed. It's kind of funny because now you just have this like little depressed plate back there. Also posting the Okawara colors because I really like the way his coloring looks here. I like that the blue almost looks like it's kind of a gold with how it's shiny there. That's fun.
Also, if you look at it, the wrists, the little hard point looks different from the original Raider.
It's a big, blocky, like, just a big brick instead of the double rails going on. I'm wondering, what other attachments does this have? Because I'm like, I don't actually know. Oh, that's why this had show art, because this actually it showed up in the HD remaster of the show. Okay. And yeah, so over there on the right, though, that's one of its equipments. That's the subwing, which is a second...
I also want to mention the thruster design. If you look at it in the shoulder thruster is totally different.
Yep, it's much more like the Freedom Gundam and stuff, where it's like just like a rounded, housed-in thruster, as opposed to the like weird 3 dots in there. Trying to see if the wings. Ooh, the wings are also different at the tip of them. Now that I look at that too.
Oh yeah, we got a little adjustable bit there.
Yeah,
which folds down in the transformation. Good.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, actually, the wing has a bit of transformation to it. These extra panel lines aren't just panel lines, because look at the transform mode.
Oh, it pops out.
Yeah, they're like, I wonder if they're able to like move up and down like maneuvering flaps on normal like plane wings would.
It feels like that it's more kind of evoking like the way you have like the expandable shields, right? It just needs more surface area for lift.
Okay, yeah. It's cool looking though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny because again, it's like at a glance it looks like it doesn't change as much, but no, it does actually change quite a bit. The subwing there though is a this was actually originally designed as like it's a flying wing designed for use with the full spec. Basically, it increases its travel range. It also can be used to like re-enter the atmosphere, since I guess the normal Raider would just collapse apart if you did that. And it also has hardpoints added to it so that basically the mobile suit's weapons can pop into these. Normally, the Raider full spec is wielding these guns. However, when it is like, oh, we need to transform, it can load the guns onto the subwing so that it doesn't just throw the guns away. It can still have them when deploying if it needs to deploy with the subwing, which is fun. And then it also looks like it can mount these really large missiles.
King Cobra.
The full spec itself. Let me get this picture of this. You can see they are loaded onto the arms there on that left part of the image. They're loaded onto that's what the new arm brackets are for, I think. Is loading these onto them. These are
sure.
King Cobra infrared guided missiles, which apparently can carry a maximum.
They must be cruise missiles.
It can carry a maximum of 6 of them. 2 missiles can be mounted on the shoulder armor, and the other 4 are mounted on the subwing's hardpoints. So these 4 hardpoints on the subwing can also mount more of them.
Sure, one on either side and one on either side.
Yeah.
Or no, I see. You replace the guns.
You replace the
1,
guns
2,
with them,
3,
yeah.
4. That way. I see. Sure. Okay.
And yeah, these are fucking huge missiles. And yeah, so then the primary armament for this guy kind of scaled back. Obviously, it lost the mouth beam. It also is using 2 of these machine guns, which are just GAU 8 M2 52mm machine guns. the same design used by the dagger. And then it does still have the short beam cannons inside of the claws here. Oh, interesting. In the original design, these are meant to actually be 20mm machine guns inside of the claws. And then it says in later versions of the full spec, which is to say, I'm assuming when they animated it in Seed Destiny, they made them just be the beam cannons again. The short range plasma cannons. But, yeah.
Sure.
And then it still has the auto cannons in the shoulder. You can see them extended forward there. And it mentions a beam rifle for the late type, which again is just the Seed Destiny version. Who knows what beam rifle design they're using? I don't. But it is mentioned that it apparently has that, so. Yeah. And then, it also, I should have mentioned this with the regular Raider. It has trans-phase shift armor. We've gotten to the point with the Seed stuff where it's like, there's no need to mention it. Everything that's like a Gundam has phase shift. It's fine. But...
it is also, of course, the case that this subwing can be used as a subflight system.
Yeah, of course. God, the crunchy cutscenes from Neverending Tomorrow there. And yeah, so that's the Raider full spec. Surprisingly alright.
That's okay. Yeah.
I actually like it more than the OG.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no question. I almost like it.
And I feel like that's due to the fact that since Okawara is primarily designing these for MSV, it doesn't have those animation restrictions, even though it was later animated.
Yeah.
He can be a little bit more off the beaten path.
Well,
and it also doesn't have to be super cool, right? Like the removal of like the leg thrusters and stuff, right? Kind of like tone it down a little bit in a way I think is beneficial.
It's a more restrained looking design. A little more elegant.
Speaking of restrained, fuck that. Do you want to go Gelb or Booster?
We'll do Gelb first.
Okay. Well, like I said, fuck that.
That is the opposite of restraint.
Yeah. So these are the initial variants from Destiny Astray R that I am not a huge fan of. These are designed by Seira Masuo? I guess he works on a lot of Gunpla related things, which fair enough. But yeah, this is okay. So, starting with the head. The head is the Raider head. It's interesting because like this head is still the Raider head. It has the cannon, has the same colorways that you expect and whatnot. The torso has a bit of extra detail in that the outer parts of the pectorals where like the backpack is hooked into have these extra like larger kind of braces on them going into the backpack as well. You also get more detail on the little waist sections here, or the sides of the torso there where it's connected into the waist. Just some openings with some detail on them. The shoulders are almost the full mechanics kind of design. Not quite, but very similar with like the way that the base armor plate has been expanded on the shoulder armor. You get these extra little rails added to the top of the shoulders as well. Kind of in the same design as the hard points on the arms. Still has the little 3 thruster kind of pod at the end of them. The biceps are kind of interesting because you get a thing where the biceps are in white, but then the forearms are in the sort of like brownish gray color. I don't want to say I don't think it's really black quite. It's kind of like just like a gray with like a hint of like warmth to it. The forearms, you get a lot of extra detail going on. You've got this big gray piece on the front. You've got like the wrist has this extra large separation there before the hand. The hands are still hands. For the skirts, the bottom of the front crotch piece has added a whole bunch of these little like horizontal vents, and the skirts themselves have been changed greatly. They have this big opening in between them now with larger thrusters on the bottom. The side skirts are still the same old claw, same kind of design for the claw even as the original Raider. And then for the lower legs, you get looks like the main thing is they're the same as the normal Raiders, only they have a lot of extra like color on them. Like it has like a lighter gray in front and then the darker gray on the back. For the legs are still the big exposed joint. For the lower legs, we've added a thruster pod similar to the original outer thruster pod to the inner parts of the calves here. And now the outer one has been made gigantic with like a double thruster, a wing that is popped out of the side of the back, and then the very back of the leg is just these big boxes.
Right, because it's a chunk of an Ale Striker pack.
Oh, is that what that is?
Like looking at it, it has to be.
It does look
also,
similar to an Ale Striker pack, like
because this is based on a fucking this is based on a fucking like magazine kit bash. So
yeah, huh. And then the front of the leg, you also have an extra thruster as well, just to add on to all the thrusters around the legs.
Just in case you were like, I'm worried that my foot won't get melted. Let me fix that. The
feet are changed in design quite a bit. They're a bit more boxy. Still has like a slightly high heel thing going on, but you know, they are more boxy and more detailed. You've got these little extra bits of armor around the sides of the foot as well as on the backs of the heel. And the backpack unit is a lot bigger now, mainly because the wings have been extended and the ends of them, not quite the same as the full spec, but very similarly, have these added little like sub-wings that look movable. And then attached into the middle, it looks like it just got rid of the thruster that would be blasting into the legs because it clearly doesn't need that anymore, given all the extra thrusters added to the legs. And instead it has this like large... You know, this isn't designed by Naoki, but this feels very Naoki with how square it is. Like, this very large, like, fuselage that is swept back with a big vent on it, and two gigantic cannons, like, very Calamity-like beam cannon. Well, just the shape isn't Calamity-like, but, you know, just having the double beam cannon like that when it's on one of the Sicko suits makes me think of the Calamity. And you get these two large back cannons. Looks like they can't... It
kind of reminds me a little bit of the Doppelhorn Striker, but the cannons are a lot shorter.
Yeah.
Like, just the general shape of it.
It looks like they couldn't use these at all in the mobile suit mode, it looks like, is the weird thing with them. Also, on the underside of these cannons, it's got these, like... I think these are extra thrusters, given the shape of them.
Uh-huh.
Like, they're just kind of located on these, like, little scoops on the undersides of the cannons.
Oh, no, or are those beam sabers?
Oh, does it have beam sabers?
I don't know. Not that it mentions, but...
Maybe they are, I don't know.
I mean, the other thing to note is everyone is like this transformable mobile suit, and we have no one will show us the transformation.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, like...
Even in the model kit photo build, there's just the mobile suit mode.
Yeah. Just to show that here.
Makes you wonder, like, was it ever even really designed to have a transforming mode? Like,
I'm like looking and
I have not read Destiny Astray R.
All my friends are just off screen. They're transformed too.
Yeah, God. I'm like looking real quick just to see if any other sources have it. I don't think it's ever been depicted transforming at all. So that's really funny that they refer to it as a transformable mobile suit, but there are some fan interpretations of it, but no, I'm not seeing like the actual design transformed. Yeah, so for the armaments on this guy, you've got the Zorn high energy cannon in the mouth, which, wait, Zorn? Is that what it was called originally also?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. The weapons have too many names, so my brain was like, wait, was the Zorn the Bobbies? No, that was a different one, okay.
It's obviously named after famous saxophonist John Zorn.
Okay, sure.
because he makes a similar face when he's blowing on his saxophone.
Alright. Moving on. It mentions that it has a dual 52mm hypervelocity shield cannon, which isn't this, because this is clearly not a double-barreled cannon. Oh no, I guess that is it. It says a rapid-fire beam cannon derived from the Lagoon's twin beam cannon is mounted on each side of the shield cannon. So never mind, I guess this is the shield cannon?
But
Okay.
you look at it, it looks like literally a battleship cannon just slapped onto the arm.
Yeah,
Like,
with
if you
having
look
the
at
four
size of it
barrels.
and the 4 barrels.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Funnily enough, looking at it, the design of the outer barrels, I guess those do in fact look like the Lagos, like in terms of having like the same opening and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. It has the Ahura Mazdas in the claws. It has an 80mm autocannon built into the nose, two 76mm autocannons in the shoulders, and then finally, on the backpack, it's a 115mm railgun. Oh, these are the IWSP's railguns. The Strike IWSP, apparently.
Oh.
Of course.
Only usable in MA mode. You know, that MA mode that we've totally seen. Then these lower parts right here, because this is the IWSP, these are meant to be the 105mm cannons as well. On the below part there. And then it has the Super Mjolnir Super Spherical Breaker, which is bigger with sharper spikes, which I get that is what it is, but just seeing bigger with sharper spikes is really funny to me when describing the weapon. Which, I mean, you know, you can see it there, it is. You know, here's the model of that. It is just bigger with sharper spikes. Yeah, this design's kind of a mess. I think all the Destiny versions of these guys are all a mess. The Destiny Astray R versions of these guys, because, you know, there's a Calamity, there's a Forbidden. I like the color scheme. That's what I can give it.
It's okay.
His concept...
Too busy, too clunky. And I'm really curious, like, I really have the feeling that no flight mode was designed for this.
Yeah. According to the wiki, so grain of salt, but Seira Masuo apparently said his concept when designing the suit was to double its thrusters, giving the impression that it is super fast. And I mean, he did double the thrusters, but yeah, I
don't have the impression that it's super fast. I have the impression that it can't, like, take something off its waist without knocking something off.
Yeah, also, it was destroyed by, the Astray Red Dragon. It was, you know, all of these machines were destroyed by the Red Dragon at, like, the same time. So, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just, it is weird, because you can tell it's a kit bash, which, not like that's the first time that a Stray thing has done that. Stray does in fact love to do this quite a bit. And then we have the other funny guy, who I like more in spite of being really dumb, which would be the Boost
I mean,
Ranger.
this thing, you look at this, and this is just, like, Akutsu is written all over this design, this next one.
Yeah, no. And maybe that's why I appreciate it more, but we've got the Seed Eclipse Boost Raider Gundam. So, what have we done to the Raider here? Well, it has a pompadour. Now, funnily enough, you can actually even tell from, like, the design of the torso and the shoulders and the waist. He had designed the full mechanics, and then, using the full mechanics as the basis, he then designed this. You can tell because the details are the same. You can also
Like
see
the,
that with...
shoulder armor.
Yeah. You can also see that with the Forbidden and the Raider as well. I don't know... The Forbidden hasn't had its upgrade, but it's gotta have one coming also, given that they also did a Calamity and, you know, the Raider here, so... I feel like they would inevitably do one there. So, yeah, the head, we have added a giant pompadour, which is so goofy that I kind of have to love it. This is the Mimir Head Augmentation Optical Weapon Unit. Not only that, but it also contains an amplifier for the Zorn beam cannon in the mouth. So, very goofy. The torso is the same design as the full mechanics, just has different colors. This design's in white, purple, like a very navy dark blue, and yellow for some of the details. For the shoulder armor, though, again, it's the shoulder design from the full mechanics kit. As you go to the arms, one of the fun things that this does is attached to each of the arms is a shield based on the claws from the Raider. But instead of having a machine gun at the end, they have these like little spears, basically. That's what they look like. We'll talk about those more when we get to the weapons. For the skirts, again, same thing. It's just the full mechanics design, so it is weird how this is in some ways, in that regard, closer to just being a Raider with a head swap, different weapons, and a new backpack than the other Raider we looked at with the Gelb. But that is just what it is. For the side skirts, we have... Let me get the picture of these. You have like basically a second set of these, like... I don't know what these really do. Here. This is from the kit. You can see them from the back there. It's like these weird, almost propeller-looking parts. And I don't actually know what these are for.
Huh.
These are
these are energy deflection mechanisms.
Yes, based on the Forbidden Gundams things. So these are just
Geschmied de Gong. That's hard to say.
Yeah.
Geschmied de Gong.
So these are just big shields basically that can pop forward for like bending beams. That's kind of cool. So you got rid of having the claws there, it just has the claws now moved to the arms. For the legs, though, again, a lot of the same changes that you expect, given the full mechanics, though the outer leg thruster has been increased in size, has like a little extra like subwing added to it, and I think this is a new thruster. Well, no, maybe this isn't a new thruster for the back of the leg. Maybe that's the same design, it's just in purple now. And then it also has added to the bottom of this leg thruster like this extra little cuff of armor going down. Finally, the backpack is the other really major change. The back unit has two folding cannons that are able to pop up over the front. These are just the Calamity's guns.
Yeah, you can see that.
Going on here. And unlike the Gelb Raider, can use these in the mobile suit mode. Then, the wings. You've got much larger wings. They're sectioned a little differently. So you've got, like, the base section that has, an adjustable, like, part so it can move up and down, and then that just goes out, and then you have a secondary wing attached to that is normally in mobile suit mode folded downward. And then those wings, even at the end of them, have more little sub-wings added. See, like, the little tiny one added to the end there. So got these much larger wings. This guy is ridiculous. And I kind of love it for its excess, because unlike the other one, hey, it can still transform. Is it goofy? Yeah, but the original Raider was goofy. Yeah, this design is ridiculous. The pompadour, these weird little arm, like, grabbies, these are the Sarastro arm claws, and it's the shield on the outside with a large claw, and then it's got these short blades on them that I guess it would just grab and stab into you with. It also has, right below the, Calamity's guns here, it's got these two... They're very small, actually. These two 88mm rail guns. And they're meant to be, like, similar to the ones on the Forbidden Gundam. But they look so thin. You can see them hanging there, though. And yeah, then everything else is mostly the same as the original Raider for a lot of the other weapons. You know, it's got the shoulder cannons. It's got the sorry, I forgot to mention that. Interesting. These leg parts, I didn't notice this. These added leg parts are actually an adapted version of the hypervelocity cannons that were on the shield originally. You can see the barrel is facing upward there. So, like, the legs, when it is transformed, have little... You can see the little guns embedded in the sides of the legs there. This is so much firepower! Yeah. It's a very goofy design, but I personally like the Boost Raider. Is it ugly? Yeah.
It's very Akutsu.
It's ugly, but again, the Raider was ugly, so shrugs.
Yeah, it's kind of got it has the mobile suit equivalent of being ugly cute, like say a bulldog.
Yeah. The most WTF thing for me with Akutsu here is I'm like, you know, I like the bigger leg thrusters. I don't know if you need to add the gun barrels to the top of them like that. It's a little ridiculous, but I feel like it'll make posing this thing a nightmare on a shelf just because you can even see right here the way that these, like, you can see the ways that these would interfere with movement. They're like popped in front of the torso there.
Mm-hmm.
I think the wings are cool though, and it's just a goofy design.
We do have one other design, sort of.
One other design, sort of. Okay, explain.
There is basically a palette swap that we see in Build Fighters, I think. Build Fighters Try, excuse me.
Oh, yes, okay. Yeah.
So this is and it has its own name, is the only reason I even bring it up, but it is the Raider Lagoon.
Oh. It's a Raider in Reborn's colors? That's what that looks like to me.
Something like that.
Well, like that very pale yellow, the white and the red, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
That's Reborn's. Guess it also doesn't have a double V-fin. It just has a normal V-fin. It's got No, those are the arms. Oh my god, the way those arms are animated there.
I do like that they just didn't draw a joint.
No, what was going on?
Pillar arm.
That feels like an in-between that we were not meant to be paused on and see.
Well, they should have given us more frames to choose from.
I mean, if it only
it
exists for like 3 frames probably before just being destroyed. But yeah, no. That's fine.
This is the kind of stuff that I stopped documenting on MHQ back in the day because it's like there's too many color variants, too many minor variants. So I said, forget all this. I'm only sticking to stuff that has official line art.
Yeah, I mean, you have the burden of like having to be like thorough and exhaustive. We, or at least I, as the person who does most of the documenting here, it's like you take it for granted that I kind of suck at this, and so there are weird gaps in our coverage. And so I can just randomly be like, sure, we'll write the Lagoon down separately. It has a different model number. Why not?
What is the model number?
It is X370, and then is that Gamma? I don't know
that's
my
Gamma.
Greek characters like that.
I'm pretty sure that's Gamma. The lowercase y.
Yes.
Yeah, that's Gamma. Oh, and I guess I should have mentioned for that Boost Raider, it is a predecessor to the Destroy Gundam.
Of course.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And there's a thing to say.
Yeah. Anyway. All right.
Yeah.
Well.
All right.
Guess that's it.
I think so. I think that's everything.
All right. Well, Chris.
Yes.
Where can people find you and your work online?
Well, mhq.net, of course, and there's links there to our Blue Sky, our Facebook group, our Discord server, and that's it. That's the place to go.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm always worried that, and I'm like, I wonder if Chris will notice this. There are days where I'm like, okay, it's time to update a shit ton of my line art, so I'm gonna just go on MAHQ and open 10 billion tabs so I have everything open, and then I'm going to slowly, like, save everything over my old files. And I'm always like, I don't know about web hosting or how any of this goes, but would this be noticeable?
Not to me. What is noticeable is, all of the AI crawling that
Oh no.
has brought us down. That's why we have Cloudflare on all the time now for both the website and Mecha Talk, because those damn AI bots just overloading everything.
That sucks. But
yeah, so you're cool.
Yay!
I would never even notice that. So you're flying under the radar.
It's just funny because I'm like, sometimes I'll just update an entire show at a time now with the art. I'm like, okay, I have to update all of Wing today. Let's go through all the Wing stuff. But anyway, all right. Well, 6. Why did you do this? I was all tabbed. I tabbed back and
That's John Zorin. He's firing a Zorin.
I'm glad that I wasn't
You
drinking.
can find me on Blue Sky, 6.scanlinemedia.com. You can find my work at scanlinemedia.com or patreon.com/scanlinemedia. And of course, you can talk to us on the Scanline Media Discord. There's a link down in the show notes, and there is, of course, a Mechanista NG channel. Dylan, what about you?
You can find me over on Blue Sky at Low Poly Robot, where I am usually posting about games or robots or mental breakdowns or whatever. It's the only place where I can it's the only place I post. Just everything goes on main. It's fine. But yeah. All right. Well, gotta
Peace.
don't got a fucking quote from Clotho Boer for this?
Do you want me? I could get a quote from John Zorn.
I think maniacal laughter would also fit, given that it's the sickos.
Yeah. That sounds great on audio, I'm sure.
Yeah. Is Clotho the gamer? I forget.
I think he was.
He was the gamer.
With the little what did it like a little Wonder Swan?
Yeah, he had like a Wonder Swan.
That he had.
He had like a Wonder Swan with fake Gradius on it, is the main thing I remember. And then the retranslation did add like extra gamer related lines, which is really funny. Anyway, alright, well, peace.
Wait, he's the guy with the head.
What?
Who does the
Oh
head,
yeah, the
head
repeated
pose.
animation of him throwing his head forward.
Yep.
You're right, that was a terrible way to phrase that. He's the guy with the head.
I mean, I would hope so, but, sometimes people lose them. But,
Yeah, ask Toll about that.
Toll. Toll.
Whoops.
Well, peace.
Just here's Clotho losing his head.
Oh.
Peace.